Hey guys, welcome to the demo of the Winkl Campaign Manager. I'm Rahul Singh, co-founder and CEO of Winkl. And before we jump into the demo, I wanted to give you a quick context on why we built the Winkl Campaign Manager. So when it comes to influencer marketing, as you might have realized when you sort of did your earlier campaigns, that influencer marketing could get really manual, really sort of time-taking, redundant, and involves a lot of back and forth, right? So you might be okay running a campaign with say 5, 10, 15 influencers, but the moment you want to start scaling it to say 50, 100, or 150 influencers, that's when it really adds up, right? You end up dealing with hundreds of phone calls, messages, WhatsApps, emails, and so on and so forth. And honestly, that's a lot of time waste, because that time that you can save by sort of avoiding this redundant work lets you, number one, scale your campaigns to a large extent, and number two, the time that you save helps you sort of focus on high ROI activities like say content strategy, influencer shortlisting, and so on. And the second thing that we really focused on, when building the Winkl Campaign Manager, was to sort of give you the ability to pick or shortlist the influencers in a very data-driven way, right? Because when you look at an influencer's profile on Instagram or YouTube, you typically see the tip of the iceberg, right? Maybe their follow count, engagement rates, so on and so forth. But when it comes to influencers' true identity online, it has a lot to do, about things that you cannot see from the Instagram profile or YouTube, channel for that matter. So the Winkl platform allows you to sort of go into depth to understand influencer and then make a call if they're relevant for your campaign or not. Let me just go into the demo right now. I'll go ahead and open a campaign called Relay Oil Shots. This campaign, recently was run, I think, the month of November, achieved about a reach of 3 million. So the steps that you see on the top, these arrows, these are actually the campaign steps. So what we've really done is broken down the entire campaign into a series of simple steps that let you have clarity and transparency at every step of the campaign. And number two, helps you streamline the process, right? Because when you're running a campaign with say 100 influencers or 50 influencers, your ability to sort of streamline and manage the campaign in a seamless fashion, it becomes very important. And this breakdown really helps you do that. So the first step, as you see here, is the campaign setup, where you add a campaign name, upload a creative, add a short brief, pick a platform. Here it's only Instagram, but when you're creating a new campaign, you can pick other platforms as well. Select the primary objective, pick the brand. Is it a paid or a barter campaign? Will you be sending products to influencers or not? Because if you say yes, we will automatically collect the addresses from the influencers and sort of give you as a CSV dump, so that you don't have to manually reach out to influencers one by one to get their address. You can add the requirements, the categories you want the influencers from, the follower range, the gender, the language. Now once you have this basic campaign setup in place, what this allows you is to sort of invite influencers to the campaign, right? Because on Winkl, we also have an influencer mobile app, where the moment you roll out a campaign, the relevant influencers sort of get a notification. And here, as you see, we show eligible applicants, saying that there are 2,500 influencers who are eligible based on the criteria you have set. Moving on, the next step is shortlisting influencers. And this is the most important step. And, we recommend that brands take this very, very seriously, because this defines or sets the tone for your campaign. If you sort of get shortlisting wrong, it results in lack of ROI or bad content getting created. But when you sort of pick the right influencers, you will see that the campaign automatically tends to perform better. Let me just go ahead and open one of the shortlists. So here, as you can see, all the applicants have been zero because they have all been processed. Typically, the applicants page looks like this, where you can see all the influencers who have applied on the screen, right? And you can sort of on the left, you have a host of filters, right from gender, location, what kind of an influencer they are, follower range, following, engagement rate, video views, likes, comments, categories, language. You can also filter based on these. And parallelly, on the screen, you will see a list of influencers applied. So let's go ahead and open Richa's profile. So when I open Richa's profile, the platform throws up detailed analytics about her sort of online presence, right? So obviously you have the basic details like her location, contact number, email ID, so on and so forth. You also have a Winkl score. You have things like genuine reach, authenticity of the followers, genuine engagement. We also give you a relative comparison between Richa and other influencers in a similar follow bracket and a similar niche, right? So that helps you compare creators in a very fair way. You can also see, stat highlights. You can also see estimated cost per post, right? Because we have, data points of thousands of campaigns, thousands of posts, thousands of influencers we worked with, hundreds and thousands of posts that have gone live. And that gives us a good estimation and to predict what this influencer will really charge when you sort of, end up working with her. You can also see her recent content, or the captions, so on and so forth. And basis this, you can sort of decide to, reject an influencer or shortlist them. You can sort of continue this process for all the influencers here. We also show a list of top applicants, under the applicants tab. And once the shortlisting is done, okay, so before I move on, another interesting thing is the fact that you can create multiple shortlists on the Winkl platform, right? This allows you to really test your campaigns. You might have a shortlist that says a fashion shortlist or a beauty shortlist, or you might have a shortlist that says micro influencer shortlist or a macro influencer shortlist. So the platform allows you to really experiment with your campaign as well, so that you know what is working better and what to sort of double down on. The next step is creating a campaign brief. A campaign brief is basically a document that guidelines to the influencer on what content that they need to sort of create, right? So here there's a brief title, deliverables listed by image, story, video, reels, carousel, content theme and description, what the influencer needs to do, hashtags to use, links to use, do's and don'ts, sample content, so on and so forth. And once the brief has been created, the next step is to invite influencers into the campaign. And here is where you sort of map a shortlist to a brief. So, you might want to say that I want to the shortlist 2, I want to send, brief 2, or to shortlist 1, I want to send brief 1, right? And when you click on invite, influencers get invited. And from the invite section itself, you can get the addresses of the influencer, right? So from here, you'll be able to download the addresses and sort of ship the product to them and mark the shipping status, so that, you have 100% visibility on every step of the campaign. And the next step is to approve content. So once the influencers have received the product, they will start creating content and submit it for review, right? So here on the left, you can see all the influencers. For example, here this influencer called Bhavya has, sent a content for review. You can accept it, reject it. And the next step is to sort of see the final post. So once all the influencers make their final post, you can see, all the ones that have gone live. So for example, if I click here, it will open the direct Instagram link of this specific influencer, right? So this is, for example, a paid partnership with Air India, right? And finally, once the content, you see the final content, the final step is analytics, where you get to see the real-time analytics of the campaign performance as it starts, going live, right? So for example, here, this is the average likes, average comments, reach over time. You can see top influencers, top content, top hashtags, top captions, so on and so forth. And finally, you can make the payments from here, right? So the platform also allows you to pay to the influencers directly. Another interesting point to note is the fact that because influencers have the Winkl app on their phones, it becomes very easy for you to coordinate. You don't have to sort of message them on WhatsApp. We in fact have even chat built in on the platform. You can generate an invoice from here. Here the amount happens to be 0 because it's a barter campaign, but if it's a paid campaign, you'll see the amount here. You can generate the invoice and pay the influencers from here itself. So this is a quick overview of the Winkl platform. Apart from the campaign management, we also have a few other very interesting features that offer a lot of value, right, to you as a marketer. Number one is the influencer section, where you can discover all the influencers on the platform. You can, see, all the influencers listed on Winkl and outside, right? So outside we have a, almost a list of 40,000 influencers and more who are listed on the platform, who, you have access to. In fact, sometimes, there might be influencers you want to work with who are not on the platform. And we actually have a team that sort of onboards influencers on demand, as per the need basis. And apart from the overall influencers tab, we also have a collection section, which sort of helps you create a collection of influencers you might want to work with in the future. Right? So for example, here are the collections that are created, say, for a brand called Rage Coffee. So here, this brand has sort of created a curated list of influencers they want to work with and just kept it, so that for the next campaign, they don't have to sit and shortlist influencers one by one. They can, quickly roll out a campaign with all the influencers listed here. So this is a quick overview of the Winkl Campaign Manager. Hope this was helpful. And primarily the aim is to help marketers like you, save more time and be really efficient and data driven when it comes to running your own influencer campaigns for your own brands or your own clients, right? And we hope to sort of see you running your campaigns on the Winkl platform. Thanks for taking out time to watch the demo. Have a great day.